People ask me all the time, why is getting a job harder than my actual job? Then I tell them, imagine being a recruiter. I wasn't always in executive search. I was an engineer, a broker, and then cold called my way to being an investor. And as I networked with my peers in the industry, I found their stories to be fascinating. It's the people that make the industry special to me, and that's where I put my focus, the talent and the stories behind them. It's an honor to work with the elite executives, and I wanted to create a platform to put their stories on display for the world. Welcome to the Investment Committee.
I would like to welcome Chelsea Mandel. She is the founder and managing director of Ascension Advisory. She grew up on Long Island and graduated top of her class at Dartmouth College and now lives in New York City. She started her career off in acquisitions at Starwood Capital. She then built out New Mountain Capital's net lease and sale-leaseback platform, working mostly with private equity firms before cutting her teeth in sale-leaseback advisory at a Chicago-based brokerage firm. She has since founded her own firm, Ascension Advisory, where she advises business owners, private equity firms around the world on sale-leaseback financing strategies. Since their start in 2022, her and her team has closed nearly $700 million in sale-leaseback transactions across North America and Europe. She can be found moderating executive panels around the world, going viral on Twitter, or at the poker table winning all the money, unless I'm here. Chelsea, welcome to the Investment Committee. Happy to have you on the show.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
Good. Dilo, let the cards fly.
Okay.
So Chelsea, do you actually remember the first time that you reached out to me?
I remember that it was like out of the blue and like totally cold, but I don't remember all the details.
Right. I was actually in acquisitions at the time, and you had cold reached out to me about, on the brokerage side about, are you full already? So I'll take that. So it was when I was on the acquisition side, and you had reached out about your sale-leaseback strategies that you had at the firm, and we didn't have any of the opportunities at the time, but I appreciated it because it takes a certain amount of guts, bravado for cold outreach. And so just tell us briefly, how has that helped you in your career? Because I speak to a lot of students, a lot of professionals, and they struggle with cold outreach, cold calling, but that's like a fundamental skill in business. How has that helped you in your business so far?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely helped from a lead generation standpoint. I mean, I think any broker, any advisor, in real estate will tell you, you have to kind of just be fearless with, your outreach. I'm a conservative player, by the way.
That's no problem.
Not in business, but in the game. But no, I think, you have to kind of shoot your shot, whether it's cold outreach on LinkedIn, cold emails, picking up the phone and dialing. I think it's from a specifically like deal generation standpoint, so many people have generated deal flow that way. I can name tons of deals that came totally cold.
Right.
But I think it's also like a bigger reflection of just like, the fact of having to be like relentless and persistent in this business, right? Like it's appreciated when you're adding value. I think it's annoying when you're, asking for something and you're constantly in someone's face and calling up a person you don't know, asking for favors. But if you're like, hey, I'm here to provide value, I'm here to provide free valuations, and can I get in front of you? It's hard to say no to that.
Yeah, that's the hustle. I think it's just so important in business today, and it's almost like a lost art. But I've seen how it's contributed to success. So, tell us how you've got your start in real estate. Tell us about Chelsea Mandel. How did you go from just bright-eyed kid coming out of Dartmouth to founding her own firm?
Yeah, I mean, out of Dartmouth, I joined Starwood Capital Group. I was in the acquisitions team. I was the only female in like a 52-person acquisitions group of men. Yeah, living in Greenwich, Connecticut. So that was a lot of fun.
Right.
And single, so even more fun. But no, I think it was a really great learning experience for me. It was a fantastic, training program. I think that's really where, I learned all the like real estate fundamentals. So for me, like what I got out of that was really like foundational, real estate skills. And then I moved to New Mountain Capital after a couple years at Starwood to help build out their net lease and sale-leaseback platform. Right. And so that, to me, was really exciting because, one, I got to move to New York City, but two, they were building out a new strategy with an existing like private equity arm. And so we kind of had the benefit of being an established private equity firm and having, the kind of reputation in the marketplace. as a leading like prestigious group. And so when we were fundraising, it was definitely easier for us, I think, than if we had just been like a first-time fund, coming out of nowhere. And so it was really entrepreneurial. I mean, we were building a new strategy out of like the credit arm of New Mountain Capital. And I was building all the, template models and investment committee decks. And
all the heavy lifting.
All the heavy lifting.
Right.
Trying to get like the strategy off the ground. And obviously it's easier to fundraise when you have deals lined up. So we did about $500 million in sale leasebacks while I was there over the course of 3 years. And yeah, it was awesome. It was super entrepreneurial. Like I said, I was, the first hire to that fund. I was working directly with the portfolio manager. And I think our first showdown, I just got an 8.
Oh, that's no good.
No.
No good.
Nice hand.
Thank you.
But yeah, so I think for me, that was like the first experience of building something. And like, from there, obviously I got into brokerage. And from, being in brokerage and advising companies, ultimately I went out and started my own. So.
That's very interesting for a number of reasons, because most professionals, they are on the sell side asking me to get onto the buy side. What is it that you saw in this space where it's like, okay, I could grow probably more in my career if I go on the sell side that way? What was the difference like for you?
I mean, there's a couple of things. Like for me, when I was at New Mountain, I was sourcing a lot of deals, like proprietary deals from private equity, people in my network. And come on, I finally get a hand.
Oh, oof.
A little bit.
Oh, it's my turn to fold.
So yeah, I mean, I was sourcing deals, and like that's kind of the hardest part of really like being in this business is like finding opportunity, finding off-market opportunities.
Right.
And New Mountain, such an amazing firm, but like so picky, nothing like was fitting the box, and I felt like I was adding a lot of value, but we weren't really like able to monetize it.
Right.
And I had been talking with brokers all the time because they were always showing me deals and kind of learning a little bit about, learning a little bit about the brokerage side and what kind of the advisory business is like. And it just seemed like really exciting. And I think the straw that broke the camel's back is I was on a property tour, and we were buying a building like in the middle of nowhere, Mississippi or something. And I was touring the property.
Mississippi?
Yeah.
Okay.
Tupelo, Mississippi.
Nice.
I don't remember what it was. Furniture? I don't know. But I was touring the property with these brokers who were pretty young. They were like my age at the time. And, they were telling me like how they started their business and, what they love about being on the sell side. And pretty much, long story short, we went to close the deal, and I saw in the commission statement, these guys made $1 million on a $100 million deal. I'm like, these guys are my age. And they just made,
250.
I'm like counting in my head.
No, you're good.
I followed. They just made $1 million on a $100 million deal, and I was like, all right, this is where I gotta be.
This is where I gotta be, right?
This is where the money's
That's where the action is. Nice.
Yeah, so I joined the firm of like a very aggressive broker that had been like trying to poach me when I was at New Mountain.
Gotcha, understood. So you entered a space that has been, historically dominated by some of the bigger players in the space, CBREs, JLLs of the world. How do you have the courage to go up against some of the bigger names in the space? And then how do you differentiate yourself in the market?
Yeah, I mean, we didn't start Ascension because we thought we were bringing a new, strategy to, come on.
I ain't got nothing for you. I got nothing for you.
We started Ascension because we wanted to do things differently, not really do something new. We know it's a crowded space. We know we have a lot of competitors. We know who all of them are. It was the way that we were going to go about the business that really differentiates us. I think, those groups, no one by name, but the big guys are a little bit too comfortable at the top. It's been a sleepy industry. It's been around a long time.
Right.
And there has been very little innovation when you actually look at like what these companies started as and how they're approaching their business today. And so for our company, it's not necessarily that we're looking at sale leasebacks differently. It's that we're bringing a different like approach to I can't count.
That's 350.
50. Okay. Yeah, I'll call. To the market. And so, when I say that, we're structured differently. We're not like the traditional brokerage model where, get as big, as possible. Bigger is better. Hire as many brokers as you possibly can and take a, small clip off of what everybody's making. For us, it's totally different. We operate much more like an investment bank. So we have one team. Everybody works on everything together.
I got nothing for you.
It's collaborative. All parts of the business touch the client, and we're investing in things like engineering processes and systems and data and technology and AI, and we know our competitors aren't. And so it's just a very different approach, and I think, that's all internal and all kind of behind the scenes.
Right.
But what it becomes is, I think, a better culture of the company, because you don't have internal brokers or brokers competing internally and fighting over who last touched them in the CRM and whatnot.
Right.
We have none of that drama. We're all in this little canoe paddling together in the same direction. And when people are happier about where they work, we provide a better service to the client.
Yeah, I've heard from brokers that they feel more competition internally than externally.
That's crazy.
So I definitely.
How can you run a successful business that way when you have your own people cannibalizing your own people?
Right.
Woo! Turn up the heat.
A little something.
Okay.
On the topic of culture, what is the culture you I guess set out to establish and trying to establish? You've opened up offices, across Europe, across America. How are you identifying the folks that are going to be the culture makers in these different cities around the world?
Yeah, it's pretty clear for us, a culture of transparency and a culture, I have so much trouble always saying the word, and a culture of building. We want people to join our team because they want to build something amazing with us. They want to be here for the long run. They want to, grow this as a career versus as a job. We're not looking to take people in that we're going to have to turn, in 2 years. We're not providing an analyst program for them to go off and do something else after that.
Right.
We're too lean, and we don't have the resources to commit to that. So when we commit to you, we're committed to you.
Right.
Everybody at the company, at least what they tell me, and I'm pretty sure it's true, wants to be here for the long term and wants to see the future of this company. And so that's what we're looking for is, are you like-minded? Can you get on board with that long-term vision? And are you going to help us build this thing?
Gotcha. How's business in 2024? The markets were definitely slower in 2023. It seems that we've hopefully reached peak pessimism and moving towards that. There's a lot of capital being raised in private equity. Lots more money being put out there. What are you seeing from your seat? As business goes into 2024?
Yeah, last year was slow. M&A was down 40%, so sale-leaseback volume, always follows. So we were, the sale-leaseback business was down, I think, about 45%.
Wow.
And 2024 has been great. We got to find some wood, though. Is this real wood? Anyways, I'm knocking on something. The market's been good so far. M&A has definitely picked up. There's tons of dry powder, in private equity. There's tons of dry powder, even in strategics. We're seeing a lot of, corporate divestitures of private equity firms coming in, doing corporate carve-outs. We're seeing a lot of sponsor-to-sponsor activity. They've been holding their assets too long, and they couldn't sell over the last 15 months.
Exit strategies are hard.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
No IPO market. You have to do a lot of synergies. Value creation has been tough.
There's a lot of creative vehicles. We're seeing things like continuation vehicles just to raise capital because fundraising is tough. But the market's been better. Activity this quarter. We'll see kind of the next couple of weeks. But so far it's been good. It's been strong, and it feels like the M&A market is back. And I think if rates do end up being cut towards the end of end half of the year, I think we're probably not going to see the effects until 2025.
Gotcha. When was that 200?
Yeah.
$100 raise. I'll let him live. Okay. I'll let him live. We're here playing poker, game of risk and reward, and there's a notion out there. There's stereotypes that, for whatever reason, whether it's true or not, that when it comes to risk, that women tend to be more risk averse. What does that look like for you?
Yeah, I think, yes, you're right. I do think the perception, is probably a reflection of reality in terms of, women being more risk averse. I wish it weren't the case. But, you know, I think there's a stat out there, and I don't know the exact stat, but that women ask for raises when they're like way overqualified, or they ask for promotions when they're way overqualified, versus men ask for promotions and raises when they're totally underqualified.
Right,
and so I think it's also like a level of confidence, you know? But for me, I think, thankfully, I don't have that like problem. I think I, you know, have always kind of been maybe even overconfident, maybe more like a man in that way. But it'd be great to, you know, get more women asking and, you know, asking for raises, asking for promotions, taking more risks, and, you know, really doing the same things that men do, because there's no reason not to. I mean, I don't know why it's that way, but I feel like I'm not that way.
Gosh, I can see that. For sure, for sure. What we got here?
Poster blinds, please.
The blinds?
Okay, poster blinds.
Yeah, let me see. Let me put in a little raise.
Come on, you gotta give me something here.
A little raise, a little raise.
Okay,
350.
I mean,
There we go. Got one down.
This guy's a bully.
No, I'm not.
I know you're taking all my money.
Someone has to.
Good thing this is money.
Was it dealer? Dealer goes away.
He's got a little-
You sure?
I'm positive.
Okay. The camera might say something else.
You can take it back. I just moved it.
Okay. I got you. I'll let you do your job.
Look. You can
Let
take
the
it back.
man do his job.
We're gonna say it's here.
No, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
Oh, now it's fine.
It's fine. It's
Okay,
fine.
it's fine.
It's fine. It's fine.
I'll give you the first card.
That-
Those are fine.
So, Chelsea, you actually hosted a private equity poker night. You know, bringing together some, you know, great individuals. That's the last time we played. Tell me about your poker journey. How did you get involved in the game? How did you learn the game? You know, I rarely see women in the game, so I can imagine, you know, that's also just another arena that needs more women. How'd you get into the game? How did everything come to you?
No, it's a funny story. So I was in college. I was at Dartmouth, and I was living in, I think my dorm was called Butterfield at the time. Oof, no.
No?
I have shit cards. I have cards on this.
Man.
But I was living in my dorm, and every night, like
You
around, I don't know, you looking at our cards?
He's looking at my card.
Just is.
You believe me? It's shitty.
No, I didn't even look at yours. You want me to look at yours too?
No, you're good.
So
basically, I was living in my dorm, and I was studying downstairs. It was like we had like a kitchen kind of set up. And I was a big studier. It's probably not surprising, but I would study downstairs,
studier.
and there was like another room where these kids like every night were playing something, and I'm posting my line. I didn't really know what they were playing until, oops, wrong way. One night I like walked in, I was like, what are you guys doing? Like they were up all hours. Like I was up all hours, but I was up all hours studying. It would be like 4 a.m. and like these guys, and I would constantly hear
top of your class.
like that. I'm like, all right, so
Hitting
I'm
the
doing
chips.
that. I got to figure it out. Right. So these guys were playing poker, Texas Hold'em. And so I came in, and yeah, I just wanted to get in on it. I was like, teach me, like, how do I play?
Cool.
Like, you guys are always here. They seem super, you know, close and friendly and fun, and like they were there every night. So they clearly, you know, liked each other and liked what they were doing. And so I asked them to teach me. And so they taught me. And fast forward to, I don't know, senior year, I was literally playing every single night regularly until like 4 a.m. You know, we had smaller stakes then, but they seemed like big stakes at the time. And yeah, ultimately I became one of the founding members of the Dartmouth Poker
Right.
Society.
Oh yeah?
Oof. I know you're good here, but I feel like we should play.
You feel like we should play?
What did I put in, 100?
You did put in
Yours
100.
are more too.
All right.
We got some action.
We got some action.
We got some action.
So yeah, basically I learned in college. I, you know, became very infatuated, you know, with the game. I really loved it. Started playing at a number of casinos and, you know, different events and games in the city and whatnot. Shoot.
Did you river me?
No.
You sure?
Yes. I did not.
No, I see it's the laugh that
No, I didn't remember you.
it's
I'll
up
have chips.
Oh, come on.
1,500.
No.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, so continuing with this story, poker's actually had a very like big impact on my life. So I actually met my husband playing poker.
Really?
Yeah. So we
That's a good man. That's a good man.
we met at it was a game at the iPick Theaters. Like it was organized by the real estate like young professionals or something.
It's funny because you remember where it was. You think he would remember
No.
where it was?
Like, oh, we met at the club, right?
Right.
Babe.
Not even a slightest reminder.
No, definitely not.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we met there, and I think like what poker has also taught me is like a lot of it's all psychology, right?
Yep.
Like it's all behavior,
Yep.
game theory. What are you gonna do? How am I gonna respond to
Right.
it? What am I gonna do? How are
Right.
you gonna respond to it?
I have information, you have information, but
We've
we don't know each
asymmetric
other.
information.
Right.
Like, it's
yeah.
honestly it couldn't be like more beneficial for the role that I'm in
Mm-hmm.
sales, in real estate, constantly reading people, whether it's buyers and I'm, running a process and trying to get them to the most, competitive terms possible for my client, or trying to, figure out who I'm pitching against or how my client is, prospect is feeling when I'm like competing against, others for a pitch. So
Right.
it's all just like understanding people and how people react to certain things. And that's so applicable. I mean, to any job, probably.
Right. Yeah, just it's done wonders for me. I love the game, hence why I wanted to have the
How did
concept
you
of.
start playing? Can I ask?
Yeah, feel free to ask me as much questions as possible.
That's on you.
What we got here? Well, I started losing a lot. I'll tell you that.
You started losing a lot.
Yeah, I
Well,
started
where'd the
losing
money
a
go?
lot. Yeah, I started during COVID.
Okay.
Oh,
Oh, so you're fairly new.
fairly new. So I got beat a lot, by a certain someone that's in the room, but I won't.
That really like triggered you.
I won't disclose, who took a lot of my money
Post your blinds.
and pain, but
Post your blinds.
I'll post my blinds.
I get a sense from the snappy dealer over here that
Yeah,
maybe
so-
this person's in the room.
So we
Seems.
I was taught the hard way. During COVID, I took an interest in it, but since then, I mean, it teaches you a lot about yourself.
Yeah.
How you deal with risk, how you deal with uncertainty, how you deal with your own emotions.
Yeah.
Right?
How you control your
How
emotions.
you control your emotions. It's
Right.
it's sick. I don't know why you making expressions over there.
How you control your emotions.
Yeah.
Like, remember that time you flipped the table over?
No, I see it a lot on TV.
That's all it is.
That's all it is.
Got you.
I play solitaire.
Who hired this guy? I checked. Yes. But I tell everyone, even if you don't play all the time, if you learn the game, if you experience the game, I'm gonna raise 400. See, you gave it away.
You gave him nothing.
Maybe you gave away the tell.
Nah, I already had folded at that point.
That's what I'm saying. You gave it away in your mind already.
Yeah.
I had nothing either.
I'm not gonna
Next
risk it
time you
though.
show that.
We have a
Huh?
different.
Next time you show, you don't know.
Listen, I don't have to
Yeah.
show my cards.
This is,
Yep.
this is true.
It's his show. He doesn't have to show his cards.
It's
When
400.
it's your show, you make people
It's
show your
$400 to show the cards, Brian. Yeah.
You got it. Right there.
Give me one. So, you said that you met your husband playing poker. Was he any good?
No, we were both really bad because we lost. It was a tournament. We were playing for like an iPad. And
Okay.
we both lost.
So
and then
you came together in your loss,
in our
your tears,
misery.
in your right.
No, we
misery.
actually went to the bar because we lost. We're like, well, at least we're gonna get the free drinks
There
that
it
came
is.
with this event.
Right.
So then we started, flirting at the bar. And one thing led to another.
Gotcha.
Yeah. But speaking of going for it and cold outreach and just being relentless, we met that night. He says, "Okay, like give me your number and I'll text you." And I was like, "Okay." So I gave him my number, and then like the second he got in the cab and drove away, I sent him a text and it's like, "Hi," smiley face. He's like, "I said I would text you." I was like, "But I didn't want to wait that long." So yeah,
It's a cute story.
The rest is history.
Is that 100?
Yeah, mini bag.
I'll give you some 100.
Okay.
I'll give you some action. Need some action.
Need some action.
You've been folding too much, so I'll go easy on you. I check. If that river comes, I don't know what to tell you. About 500? Sheesh. Talk to me.
See it.
Splash in the pot.
Sorry.
All right. I could, I'm allowed to splash the
You
pot.
splash the pot as much as you want.
Yeah, you're right. I might have rivered you.
Did you?
I'll check though. I ain't river you.
I have a 2.
That 2 is good.
Yes.
That 2 is amazing. Wow. I couldn't
good
even.
hand.
I couldn't even beat a 2.
Mm.
I was hoping.
We're
So
not editing that one out.
you were
I had
supposed.
to have one winning hand in this episode.
You're supposed to give me the card under the table.
I did.
We talked
You
about
didn't
this.
catch it.
All right, let's see who can shuffle more.
Shuffle more. Oh no,
Do you
oh
like-
no, I'm not good. I'm not good at this at all.
No chip trick?
You got long fingers. You should be able to shuffle.
No, I'm not good.
You got that, right? You
I
got
get
that?
I get nervous on
That's a
camera.
lot.
That's all I got for you.
See,
I'm not a good.
it's all about your
I'm not a good chip shuffler.
dexterity.
Well, some. I'm not like the pros.
Yeah.
It's okay.
You get injured doing stuff like that.
Do you?
No.
Has anyone ever gotten injured doing that?
No. Just a nail chip, maybe.
Yeah.
That's nasty.
It hurts.
Huh?
It hurts.
Where we at? On 100?
Yes.
Your action. Yeah, I'm coming for the rest of those chips.
I could take them long.
So that was in college. You were playing for how long?
Oh, now you're putting my age
Putting
together.
your age out there. That's kind of.
I graduated
I didn't
2015.
I didn't realize the amount of competition I'm facing right now. That's why.
Yeah, you gotta go for those low blows.
I realized
That's
when you mentioned that was
Like,
that I,
how
oh
old
that
are
that I,
you?
ju- that I just that I just started playing. I was like, oof.
Sorry.
I guess she's right.
Yeah, no, I've been playing about probably 11 years, 12 years.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh,
12 years. Yeah.
if you weren't, it seems as though, based off our I fold. It seems as though based off our conversations that you always had the energy, the entrepreneurial spirit
Yeah.
to go out there and do something. If it wasn't for real estate, do you think you'd have been a founder anyway? Like it just happened to be real estate that you got into, but did you have founder aspirations sort of like from a younger age, or was it just when you got into real estate, it seems as though you just wherever Chelsea would have ended up, it would have been her own business at the same time. How did that
Yeah.
mindset develop? How did that come
No, I
about?
think that's exactly right. I think real estate to me was almost more of like an accident. Like it really wasn't very intentional in terms of, I didn't grow up with any real estate, in my family, and I never grew up, I was never like a young person like, oh, I want to, be a real estate investor when I grow up. That was never me.
Mm-hmm.
I think, if you ask me what I thought I would be doing when I was like older, when I was a kid, I wanted to be a doctor. Actually,
Yeah?
wanted to be a dermatologist. Yeah.
Oof, can't do that. God bless.
Yeah. So things changed in college. I was actually pre-med, and I was shadowing doctors at the hospital at Dartmouth Hitchcock, and pretty much, thought I had it figured out. I was doing fine with the dermatologist. Everything was great. Like, a lot of cosmetics, on and on. I was like, I got this.
Right.
And then I had it was a rotational program. So then I was shadowing an ER doctor, and it wasn't even like, it was nothing. It was like the second day of me, on the job shadowing, and we had a pregnant woman come in to the ER, and I don't even remember what was wrong. I think she just like had pain or cramps. I don't know, whatever it was. And the doctor goes, has me touch her stomach, or touches her stomach, and I'm touching her stomach, and I literally faint. I just
fainted?
I fainted. Yeah, and the woman, I felt so bad because I probably scared her, thinking something was wrong. Everything was fine. All I did was literally touch a stomach, and I couldn't do it. Apparently, I learned later on,
But-
it's called a vasovagal response, and it's a psychological mental thing that triggers some nerve in your body. I don't
Really?
know. It's kind of crazy. Long story short, they basically told me, find a new major, have new aspirations. You're not going to do well
isn't for you.
as a doctor,
This
right?
isn't
So
for
no,
you.
I
Right.
had to switch majors. I started studying econ and getting into finance, and I think it's on me. I checked.
I check.
And yeah, so like you said, I think it could have been anything. The fact that it was real estate, was sort of just happenstance. But I think whatever it was going to be, I was always going to be a founder or a business owner.
Right.
I also had another stage in my life when I wanted to be a detective who found missing children. So I had a couple things. I was never set on anything, but I think the entrepreneurial spirit, like you said, I think that's internal. I think wanting, again, being a builder, wanting to build something, wanting to grow something, I think that's in your mind, and that's in your blood and your spirit. So I don't think there was ever a situation where I was going to end up working for someone, forever. I think it was always going to be, I'm working for myself.
Right.
And maybe it just happened quicker by being in real estate than in another, in another area of
The
business.
200?
200 more.
But
Do some action.
yeah, I think that's always been inside me, and that's probably since I've, been alive.
So if you weren't if you weren't in real estate, have you ever looked at a business, looked at other business owners in your travels, looked at other private equity firms and thought, you know what, if I can do it all again, I probably might be in this business, or this looks like an area where I think I could have, dominated it. Has there been any sort of business like that where you think, that's really interesting to do?
Yeah, not really. A lot of my clients are manufacturers, so
Sure.
it's like very intricate. They're manufacturing like, I don't know, CNC machining, or they're making sausages or whatever. So
Right.
like, I just don't have that skill set. I mean, I'm sure I could learn, but no, I've never really had like, oh my God, I want to be in that business, or I want to be doing that trade or industry. Not really.
Gotcha. And as you lead Ascension now, what have you learned about yourself as a leader? And what would I say is when you started off and you said, okay, I'm going to do this, what did you think about yourself as a leader? And then what did you learn from that point when you started to lead? Yeah.
I think the thing like I've been most surprised about with myself
Is that 500?
as a leader, yeah, it is.
Jeez. Could I curse on this show? Oh wait, it's my show.
You can do whatever you want.
I always
think
wanted to
it's,
say that.
like really my ability to kind of back off a bit. Like I think, throughout my whole life, whether it's like group projects or, whatnot,
Oh hell no. Yeesh. That's all I got.
I've always been kind of like a micromanager.
That's all I got for you. That's all I got
Okay.
for you.
And I've been, the person who is, thinks I have the best ideas, and so I need to do all the work.
Yeah.
And like, we're in a group project, but I'm going to do it. I'll get an A, but I'll let you know how it goes after. So I think for me, it was really surprising I didn't start this way in the company either. Like, it took probably 6 or 9 months until I really trusted everybody that, we had in place and our incredible management team. But to really like step back and like let them do what it is that they're here to do. And I think I've been surprised by myself. I think I'm proud that I've been
Big one, small one.
able to step back and really trust, the people that I, put in place to do these roles. And it's been great because it's great for me. I don't have to worry about doing other people's jobs. Nobody wants to do that. And for them, like they have the autonomy to do what they think is best, and that gives them the freedom and the creativity to like really take us to the next level. So I think it's ultimately a win-win.
All right. I got to raise you here. Yeah, 350. There it is. There it is. I don't know why you're laughing over there. It's about to be. What were in this, as head of the firm? It's an ever-growing, ever-changing industry. Interest rates are down, interest rates are up, the economy's up, the economy's down. There are new firms that are starting up. There's new challenges that CEOs face in today's climate. How do you stay on top of managing everyone, managing the deals? How do you stay on top of everything in terms of the vision for the firm? What do you read? What insights do you try to gather from external sources? What mentors may you have had along the way to help you? How do you stay on top of things? What are the types of things you get yourself into?
Yeah, I'm not like a huge, and I wish I were, but I'm not like a huge like self-help person. I don't read all these, how to be a better thinker or whatever. I don't meditate, like I don't ice plunge. I don't do any of that stuff.
Oh no, ice plunge. I don't. When did that start? I feel
I
like
don't
all
know,
of a
but I
sudden,
hate it.
all of a sudden, ice plunge just came out of nowhere.
Those people.
Those people.
They're just awful. Like I don't listen to podcasts. I'm just like not into any of that.
You listen to this podcast?
Is this a podcast? I will listen to this podcast.
Well,
But I'm just
more
not.
of a show.
Yeah, I'm not that person. Like, I don't want to lie and spew bullshit. Like, I'm just not.
No, I appreciate that. That's why
Yeah,
think
like
you'd be
I
a great
don't
addition to the
read.
show.
I can't recommend books, to you. Honestly, what I do read is the news. I read the news more than I read anything else because everything that's going on in the world has some impact on business, which has some impact on my business.
Right.
When there's like a energy crisis or a conflict, wars, like that all affects supply chain, which affects my clients, which affects M&A in that industry, which affects our business. So I'm always keeping tabs on what's going on. I'm gonna re-raise you. How much is that?
You gonna re-raise me? Shit, here we
I'm gonna go 550.
550. I gotta give you some action then. I have to respect here. Well, if I respect it, I'll just fold. But I guess after
Yeah, you never
disrespect.
expected that much.
after this, was it 550 total?
Yeah.
275 more.
But so I read the news, I try and stay up to speed also on what's going on in my clients' industry so that I can speak their language and be, in tune with like the trends. So when we look at financials, we can kind of see the holistic picture of what's actually going on that's, causing the numbers to look this way or another way. And so, yeah, in terms of mentors, again, I also haven't ever really had like a professional mentor in that sense. I never had like a older wise sage who just wanted to like make me better or give me their money. Like I've never had any of that.
Right.
I kind of wish I had, but
You said something?
he's like mumbling under his breath. He wishes he could.
I said, nice hand.
There's subtitles.
you.
That's gonna,
I'm gonna make sure he listened very closely.
that's gonna pick that up.
That's so funny.
Continuing.
But yeah, no, my mentors have honestly been people that I've made my mentors. Like they weren't, professional mentors in any, sense or even career mentors. Like it's been people like my parents, my husband, my best friends. My best friend Hannah is now an advisor to our company. She came in and was like, we're gonna professionalize this very scrappy startup. She built KPIs.
Not her calling it scrappy.
There's a good scrappy. There's a good scrappy.
Okay.
Now we have dashboards and monthly reporting meetings, a budget, financials, like all this professionalization, and that to me is mentorship. Like showing me how to run my business better, and getting the support from my network of those people has really been what has driven me professionally. Like to have the courage to go out and build, my own company and to take it to the next level. So I think from a mentorship perspective, it doesn't have to be people in a formal sense or people, professionally in your life. I think you can make mentors out of the people in your life. And I feel like that's what I've done.
That's beautiful to hear. What advice would you give the young aspiring entrepreneur, whether it's in real estate or whatever they're trying to get into? When I talk to entrepreneurs, they say all the time, it's all, however hard you think it is, it's 10 times harder.
Oh, yeah.
You think that your family and friends are going to be there, and sometimes they're not. What general advice would you give, 3-4 tidbits that you would tell yourself in the past or that you tell up-and-comers in the business?
Yeah. I think one piece of advice, maybe it's like contrarian, is like, don't just do it. Like, if you're not 100% sure, like, you don't have to do it, and it doesn't mean that you're never going to do it, and I'm not saying you have to be 100% sure to go out and start your company, but there are smart ways to do it. Like, you should have a nest egg. When you go launch, your own business, it costs a lot of money for whatever, you're doing. You're not going to be making money for what could be a long period of time. So don't just like on a whim, you hate your job one day and like flip the table, I'm going to go start my company. Like build a nest egg. If you've been working somewhere, save money. Like I saved a lot of money because I knew I would have to, invest in this business at some point. And I had a support network. And I also had like a fallback. Like if everything failed, I had a career trajectory of, successful like roles at prestigious firms that I could fall back on. Right. So I know not everybody has that luxury, but if you do, take advantage of it. I've gotten a couple people that have reached out to me like super young, right out of college, a year out, hey, I want to start my own company, like, in real estate, what do you recommend? And my response is like, I hate to be the bearer of bad news or like the Debbie Downer that you're talking to, but like don't start your own company now. Like you're young, work at a company, get all the training that you possibly can, because you don't know everything right now. You just can't. You can't know everything. You've not worked in the industry. Yeah. So what I tell them is go work at a firm that has a great training program. All right. I'm going to call.
You're going to call.
I'm going to call.
There we go. Action. You know what I like about poker? Like, at a poker night, people are having fun, talking, laughs, and you hear re-raise and everything. Everything's silent.
I lost my train of thought.
Everything
what was
comes
I
out.
saying?
Yeah, you were talking about how it's good to have a nest egg. It's good to.
Talking about like the young people who have reached out to me. But I think the best thing you could do when you're young is work at a company that has a great training program that's going to teach you a lot, where they're like invested in your learning. And it's like fundamental. Like there's like, you know, like that was the best thing about Starwood was they brought in trainers. They had a whole rubric, a whole weeks of like everything you're going to learn. Yeah. Nail the fundamentals because you need to know them, right? You need to know what a cap rate is. You need to know basic math. Like nail all that and do it on someone else's dime when they're paying you.
Right.
And use what they're paying you to learn all that and build up, you know, that safety net that I mentioned that will ultimately be like what you can use to found your own company when you ultimately want to get there. All right, this is heating up. We got to take a little break from the talking. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, your card's back.
You crossed the invisible line.
I'm not sure if you're folding.
No, I'm not.
What do you have here? Uh-oh.
Grace.
Shoot.
All right, but let's just make one thing clear. Even if I lose this hand, I'm a better chip shuffler than you are. Like, oh, fuck, I just messed it up.
23 more on top.
2,300?
More.
I didn't have that much?
Yes,
All right,
you do.
fine. I call.
Oof. This is a big one. This is a big one.
You can give me 5 grays and not even
Is this right?
Yes, looks about right. That's right.
So yeah, that would be my recommendation. Like, don't listen to everyone who's like, just jump. Like, it'll be fine. It won't be fine. A lot of people fail and declare bankruptcy, and that sucks.
Right.
Bankruptcy or the river?
Okay.
Bankruptcy.
All right.
Bankruptcy.
Bankruptcy.
So, final question. You think you're gonna win this hand?
I don't know.
I'm all in.
Oh shit.
$2,000 any place. Just give me this.
You can take that. You have some ideas over there? You're already here.
Okay.
There's only so much more.
It's true.
Sure.
All right, I'll
Give me the
call.
power. Oh, never mind.
Can we run it twice?
No, we're already at the river.
Oh fuck.
Show them what you got.
No, you.
She called you.
You got a show.
This
This
was
is your
my
show?
show.
His rules of poker too.
Come on, you got a show. Those are rules. The rules.
I don't have anything.
Boom. Wrong one. Boom.
Wow.
Thank you. Give me the money.
The money is yours.
Give me the money.
Thank you for joining us on the show. Chelsea, it was great to have you.
Thank you.
And you'll see us next time on the investment committee. You know, maybe we'll get another challenger to play me heads up on the table. Hopefully they don't take all of my chips and, you know, don't make an egregious call. No, it was a good call. It was a good call. But
That was a good call. Come on.
thank you. We'll see you next time. Happy to have you.